Today, for episode 312, we have a very special episode with three of my students. So recently, we had a podcast assignment in my class. Now, I did let students make podcasts together. And if they did, like these three kids who made the Ticked Off Teens podcast, they actually had to do 3 episodes so that 3 different kids could edit. And they were really supposed to express their own voice, be themselves. And they also, of course, had to have proper licensing, use pod-safe music, and give full credit and attribution. So the assignment was no more than 5 minutes. So this is a 4-minute and 26-second podcast episode that my students and parents and administration have given me credit to air today. Now, there are 3 big things I want you to listen to. I want you to listen to their thoughts about addiction to smartphones, about arguments on social media, and then also if people are sharing too much on social media. It would be really interesting to see what your students think, and I'll come back at the end of the show and give you some thoughts for how to use this episode. So here we go with Ticked Off Teens, a special 10-minute teacher episode featuring 3 of my awesome students.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Hello, welcome to Ticked Off Teens, hosted by
Liz,
Allie,
and Walt, the show where 3 teens talk about different topics that
tick us off.
Welcome. This is Season 1, Episode 3 of Ticked Off Teens. My name is Allie, and today we'll be talking about social media and how some of it just ticks us off. Normally on daily lives, all kids are always on their phone. They never get off. They're always having to check it every 5 seconds. And I know I do that sometimes. Some people are like really bad that it's to where the point they can't communicate in person. I mean, that's something that's really changing recently. All right, I'm going to let Liz talk about it.
I agree with the people being on their phones all the time. Like the other day, I was in a meeting and, I turned around and 3 people were sitting there on their phones. Like, you've got someone up here standing here and talking to you, and yet you're sitting there like on your phone. And I mean, I do it too, but it's mainly because I've got friends that I don't see every day. So that's like really when I'm on my phone the most. So it's good for communicating. But then again, like, you don't have to like sit there and talk to them all the time. But, well, how do you feel?
when you're in church and people are always on your phone and you're trying to listen and then they're distracting you because they're playing a game or something you want to watch, but it's just like they need to get off their phones and not be on it, so they need to be paying attention.
Something that really ticks me off is when people get in an argument with somebody else and feel the need to post it all on their stories, not necessarily saying their names in the story, but just posting stuff to make sure everybody knows that something's wrong with them and that they're in an argument with somebody. But sometimes that is how people like to handle things, and I guess you can say people just see differently on that, but I personally don't like it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've seen that not only within teenagers, but like within tweens, kids, adults. Like adults do it bad sometimes too. And, that's just immature. Like that's not needed. You just need to keep that between you and the person. It doesn't need to be posted everywhere. Like just keep your personal life personal.
They don't have to say your name, but like you know who you're talking about. Even if you're not the two people that are discussing it, if you're friends with them, you still know who you're talking about, and then that makes you mad because you're talking about your friend like that. So then you get mad at the other person. It's just like a connection. It just keeps going, never stop.
Another thing is when mainly adults do this actually, but on Facebook, I know some kids have Facebook, but it's not that bad. They normally leave it on Snapchat. But recently adults have gotten to the point where if anything happens in their life or not even on social media, they'll post everything on social media talking about family, talking about stuff that they're doing, and they just will call people out and comment really rude stuff. Like some of it's just really unnecessary, and I don't think that it's right.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, but I also got to think, like we have a really big family. So my mom will like post stuff about me every now and then. And it's good to see the small things. But, some people be like, oh, my grandkid like lost their tooth today. And then their son graduated from college. Some big things are good to see, but you have took her first steps, lost a tooth. We don't want to see like every little detail. Or, I'm eating at this place at the beach and now I'm eating at this place at the beach. They check into their locations like every 10 seconds. We get it. You're at the beach. You're having fun. We don't want to see where you're eating every 10 seconds. Like, it's good that you're eating, but...
They say like you woke up, I got ready, brushed teeth, ate breakfast, all that stuff, and they keep on doing it. It's every day. It's just like a daily little thing.
Like one time, it was a lady just had to like announce that she was going to the bathroom and she was doing all these things. I'm like, some things you gotta keep to yourself. Anyway, thank you for listening with us today. I hope you join with us again.
Thank you for listening to our show. We hope you enjoyed it and that you will tune in with us again. Music for this show is typed by Invenji Kaslevich for Melody Loops, and this show is licensed under Creative Commons Share Alike Non-Commercial.
So a big high five to my 3 students who've done such an incredible episode today. And I'm curious, do you and your students agree that we are addicted to our cell phones? What about arguments on social media, especially when you're mentioning things and everybody knows who you're talking about, but you're not mentioning it? Is that really a healthy way to have an argument? And then our third topic was, do you think people are sharing too much information on social media? What's appropriate and what's not? This is a fantastic conversation starter, and let me know what you think. I do hope you'll tweet me and let me know if your students reflect and share it so I can share it with these kids who are developing their voice. I do appreciate them and their parents allowing us to listen and reflect on what they're sharing. I think it's a pretty powerful message and gives me a lot to think about.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.